these stories, which are connected. National Security Reporter Ken Dilanian joins me on set, and Hans Nichols joins me from the Pentagon. Ken, let me start with you and do the TikTok on the Yemen raid. A couple of phrases. Highly successful, the president used. Significant amount of intelligence. It seems that no one is willing to use that kind of adjective to us when we've asked about this.
Absolutely. I've been talking to people all day about this, Chuck, as have colleagues in the NBC News investigative unit. And what we are hearing is that there has not been significant intelligence gleaned as of yet from the take from this raid.
And let's back up. The raid was designed to do what? Because there's been also some confusion in there. Was it there to target a specific AQAP person or what?
Well, again, there's confusion about that, and we've heard different stories. But as best we can gather, and John McCain said this publicly, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, that this was a raid designed to capture or kill a particular target. It doesn't seem to have been a big fish. It was a sort of a tier 3 target, a tribal leader. And it was also designed to gather intelligence about AQAP. Computers, cell phones, things that were on the site, Chuck.
Hans, I thought it was an unusual moment to have the president say he specifically called up Defense Secretary Jim Mattis earlier today and then quoted him on this. Considering everything that you've been told on background, that all of our other sources have been telling you and Ken, that he went out there so boldly there, what is the reaction from the Pentagon?
Chuck, I asked around on that at the Pentagon today, and that is that, why did Mattis give his permission to have this used, and what was Mattis's role in this, and did he want to kind of counter this idea that this wasn't a successful operation? And the first response I got, Chuck, was, what makes you think that Mattis, the president, asked Mattis permission? The Pentagon serves the president, and they're serving at the pleasure of the president. They've been asking for material about the raid with a very clear idea of putting it in the speech. The Pentagon knew this was coming. At the same time, there is some convergence here officially of what the Pentagon is saying, and that is, according to senior defense officials here, they do stick by and insist that this raid produced actionable, in the words of the president, vital intelligence. So there's a lot going on here, but I think fundamentally this is a Pentagon that wants to serve this president and wants to, in some ways, please him in any way that they can.
Ken, the intelligence that was gathered, was this designed to go after Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula? Is that who this is trying to break up? Is it dealing with the Houthis?
No.
What was this specifically targeting?
So it's Al-Qaeda in the Arabian
Definitely AQAP.
And that is a dangerous terrorist group that has targeted U.S. aircraft in the past. They're also in the middle of a civil war, so we haven't heard much about them lately. And my reporting suggests there was not necessarily any greater threat profile from this group. This was a target that was, quote, on the shelf. Somebody they had been after for a while. And this mission had been briefed to the Obama administration, which declined to approve it. So it said it's a significant escalation of our activity in Yemen. We're going to push it to the next administration. So President Trump did approve it. Now, in terms of what intelligence was gathered, we may be getting caught up in terminology here. We're not saying they got nothing, and we're certainly not denigrating in any way the sacrifices made by the Navy SEAL who lost his life. But our information is that there's nothing really significant here.
Look, Marco Rubio
seemed
to almost confirm that it's his understanding that you can't necessarily say this mission was a full success. Obviously, number one, we lost a Navy SEAL, but that the mission itself wasn't a full success, and that there needs to be some investigation. Is there momentum for that on the Hill?
Oh, absolutely. And the father of the fallen SEAL obviously is calling for that. We lost a $70 million aircraft. Children were killed. Civilians were killed. The element of surprise was lost. It's hard to describe this as a military success.
And under almost any circumstance, something like this almost always ends up as a hearing on Capitol Hill. It would be shocking if there wasn't at least some congressional investigation.
Sure, and there have already been private briefings to committees, and that's one way that we can get information.
Hans, I want to go to this other piece of news today that's related, and that is this idea that the White House no longer wants to have final sign-off authority on these special forces raids. Okay, what is the line? When do they want authority?
Well, it depends on the region, right? And then with the regions where you don't have active conflicts, namely Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, it's that area where it's really CENTCOM and the Pentagon that has wanted to do what they said under the Obama administration, less mother may I. In a lot of ways, this is Pentagon driven. They didn't want to have to always go up the chain of command, always ask for it. So I would look at this as less the White House trying to wash its hands of potentially politically complicated operations that go badly, and more of the Pentagon trying to assert a little bit more control and not always having to ask, maybe beg is too strong, but always ask for permission for things that they think slow them down.
All right, but given okay,
Oh, yeah.
then let's look at this raid right now. This is a raid that Ken just reported that many in the Pentagon wanted to do during the Obama administration. The Obama White House wouldn't give them sign off. The Trump White House did.
Yeah.
We see what we got. Is the Pentagon prepared for that kind of accountability?
You know, my understanding is that this raid, because of where it was, just what we know about what happened in the Obama administration at the principals level, at the National Security Council, then it was going to go up and filter up even higher. My understanding, again, we don't have a final look at what these rules are. We're just kind of reporting around them. My understanding is this kind of raid, which was an escalation, as Ken was saying earlier, would not be something that they wouldn't, that they'd still need authority from the White House for something of this magnitude.
So this type of raid would still have to have a White House sign off.
Well, look what we have about this raid. It's in Yemen. You're doing it with United Arab Emirates, so you have a different component there. You're going after site intelligence, but also kill and capture. So there's a lot in there, and it's a pretty aggressive raid in a country that has a lot of competing and conflicting loyalties.
Ken, last question to you on what the president said last night. Behind the scenes, is there concern that the president oversold it by some intelligence officials?
Oh, widespread concern. I've heard that today. I just wanted to say on the other matter, I talked to an Obama administration counterterrorism official today who said this is a good development. The Trump administration is willing to take more risk, and that can be a good thing in terms of these counterterrorism raids. This one, though, did not go as planned.
Ken Delaney and Hans Nichols on the National Security Force. Gentlemen, thanks very much. Still ahead, why early signs of spring in D.C.